So, I think it is. How did you? Walking past all the noise of traffic from now. On my way to get nothing, doing nothing. Hi, Teresa. How good. 30s. I thought ours was weird. We're gonna hit 64 today. It usually gets warm in the afternoon, like late afternoon, which is kind of strange, but usually, in some places anyway, it hits the high temps around noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Around me, it's like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and that's when it gets hot. And then it doesn't stay hot long. Well, warmer, I should say, not necessarily hot. But it's going to be 64 here. It was nice yesterday. I left with no jacket yesterday. Then it started to sprinkle, and then I was like, okay, this is why you take the jacket anyway, whether or not you put it on. But I have to pay very close attention where I'm walking. This is where the swans come, so the geese. Okay. I think we're good now. Okay. Anyway, so I can't see. Can y'all see? I can't see. It's too bright. That's how it is where you are. Yeah, it's weird though. I've never experienced a place like that. Usually, it's too dark over here. Well, the light's bad. We don't have much sun around here. I live in England, USA. The heat of the day usually comes around the noon and the 1 and 2 o'clocks, but not around here. You get the heat of the day around 3 and 4. I mean, which I ain't mad at. Do what you need to do and then get home before it gets hot, type of thing. That's the way I see it. Okay, that's better. '76 in Philadelphia. See, we're still considered low temps, although it's actually hot for me. I get hot fast anyway, so I ain't really here for that heat life. Yeah, I was watching. There's this guy on YouTube, Dr. Jackson Crawford, who does he has Norse mythology and so forth and so forth. That's what he does. He's in Colorado somewhere. I think Boulder. I think. he did a video yesterday, and it's just big giant flakes just falling down. I'm like, it's pretty when it's falling on somebody else. And I am over the snow. Remember 2 years ago, I was like, oh, I can't wait to see the snow. I don't ever want to see it again. But it ain't true. But I don't want to see it over here. It snowed way too much for a place that. And then when we get here, oh, it's really rare that it snows. This is really weird. No. Everything that is rare here happened when we got here. It snowed too many times. It hails a lot in April, apparently, because I got stoned the other day. And not in the I got high kind of way. I was walking down the street and nothing was going on, and then it started to rain, and then all these little pebbles just pop, pop, pop. I was smacking me in the side of the face. That was not cute. I know. I did bring the mess here. Because it doesn't snow all that much apparently, and then it snowed like 50, 11 times when we got here. And then they say, oh, it doesn't get hot, because we was researching the temperatures and all. Look at all the 68s and the 70s and the 70s and the 68s, and then we get here and it's 103 and 109 and 103. Like, what the heck? That was not cute at all. I done walked in 3 hailstorms since I've been here, and only been here like 6 months. It's not cute. Popped me right in the face. Like little stings, just pop, pop, pop. It was horrible. And don't nobody walk around with umbrellas here, because, you got to be used to being rained on. So I'm like, okay. It sure would have helped that day. But anyway, summer's coming. Like the Game of Thrones. It's coming. I don't really care for heat, and so I try not to complain about the cold. But I am glad it's breaking. And then with the cloud cover, what's been happening now is the sun comes out, and then it heats the ground, of course, and then the heat doesn't escape anywhere. And so it feels hot to me, but it's not technically. But it feels like it. Yes, he researched all of the weather here. And then we've seen all of the temperatures for the last years, and all these 60s and 70s and 60s and 70s, and then you get a few 80s. We get here 103, 102, 103, 103, 93, 103. I'm like, what the heck is going on? We didn't say we was moving to hell. Okay. Not a heat person, but you have to get used to it, I guess. But when it's mild, it's nice, like it is right now. I got this jacket on and don't need it though. Because I looked at the temperature and it said 50. And I'm thinking 50 sounds cool. And then I get out here and now I'm hot. So little Miss Jacket got to come off. I don't suffer for fashion. If this jacket wasn't $70, I'd leave it sitting here. See, we have no sun. As you see, the sky is just as white as it could be, clouds everywhere. which is okay with me. That's what I like. You know, me and the white ball of death ain't ever been friends, and so we can keep that mess. It's bright out here, but I ain't been outside all day, so gotta adjust. Well, this was expensive because I had to get a fancy jacket. So you can get a plain black jacket or brown jacket. I don't want nothing plain. I got to be extra. Everything I do got to be extra. Uh-uh. Everything got to be extra. And I searched high and low for this jacket because I wanted some that were not plain. Because I ain't got nothing plain. All my glasses ain't even plain. I got some black glasses. They got mess on them all in the lens and the things and the frames, whatever you call it. I do like living here. Yeah, it's warm here for me. For me, anyway. I mean, there's people still walking around with jackets and carrying on. Some of these West Coast people, I don't understand. When they get 40, they think it's Arctic. What I guess it is for over here. That was a weird little combination. When I went to California, and they got on jackets but shorts at the same time. Like, are we hot or are we cold? What we gonna do? We cold in the north and hot in the south, or what we gonna do? But it's warm for me. But I will say I was tired of being cold, so you wore a hoodie and flip flops. See, I'm gonna need y'all to pick a struggle. Is it gonna be sunny and hot, or sunny and cold? For y'all, it's always sunny and cold. Flip flops, hoodie. That's California. Only y'all in Mexico. Mm-mm. I wear jeans everywhere though, so I ain't ever put on a pair of shorts and walked out the house and went nowhere in my life. Mm-mm. I got shorts, but I ain't leaving the house in no shorts. Uh-uh. I mean, hell, I took y'all to the beach how many times in jeans and and tennis shoes? Mm-mm. Jeans, tennis shoes, a hat. I come over here where it's supposed to be quiet and not a helicopter flying. Okay, keep going on somewhere. Mm-mm. Just not a beach person. I might go this week though. Next week though. My brother and my niece have been several times. That's their little outing, if you will. They go find the beach. They've been to several of them so far. I'm not a beach person at all. All that sand, that water. Yeah, I when these bloom over here, Adventurous Spirit, I did a live stream over here once. When those bloom over there, they are super pretty. I love a tree. All trees. Oh Lord, not fugitives. Hope they ain't looking for none around here. This area, though, I tell you, when before I moved here, right, I watched 1,000 videos on Oregon and, or as they call it, Oregon, and the do's and the don'ts and the where's and the what's and the, all this type of stuff and the pros and the cons. And like I said, one of the cons they said was it rains all the time and high taxes, which it is, and homelessness is nuts here, and it is, and that happens to be like a pet issue of mine. It's something that I care more about than anything else. And so I'm like, oh no, I feel bad for the homeless people, right? And then you get here, and then things change. You still feel bad, but you don't feel as bad because, like, okay, downtown Portland. If you live there, I don't recommend it. But downtown Portland, they're about to open a Shake Shack, and Shake Shack is gonna open next week. They already broke the windows out of the Shake Shack already. And so it's very hard to then have sympathy when all you do is trash something and vandalize. And here's the thing, they just break stuff. It ain't like they're selling food to eat, they just break stuff and then leave carts full of trash everywhere. And in this area that I'm in, they try to do it now and then, these people around here, they don't, they will call the police on you in a minute. And so, like, there was, and it probably still is, I'm gonna walk down there and see. There was 3 shopping carts full of crap down the street from here. Actually, there's one, no, it's one still there. It's down this way, though. They were back this way. And one person was sleeping behind the grocery store. I went in the grocery store, walked out of the grocery store, and then they were gone. It was a dude laying on the sidewalk by the Trader Joe's. They ran him off real fast. So it's just like a part of you feel bad because they ain't got nowhere to go. So it's like they need help too. But at the same time, why are you breaking all my stuff? It's different if you broke it and stole something. But just to break it, then you get no sympathy. See, no, I don't know. I swear retrograde started early because nothing went to Texas. It was just, it went to Portland and they called it Texas, I guess. I don't know. Because they said my package was delivered to Austin, Texas, and it was in my mailbox, and I don't live in Austin, Texas. At all. See, and that's why, I feel bad because they some of them can't help it. There is no mental illness safety net in this country. Well, there's help, but it's hard to get it to certain people. And so you got to care for number one, but then at the same time, when you live here, it's hard to care sometimes because that's just part of being human, I guess. It's like there are some things that could be done for you, but you make it hard because you won't cooperate or you're tearing up stuff and so forth. But anyway, I know it makes zero sense. And that Miss Cleo deck, man, I'm telling you. So what I did was I took the major arcana and the court cards out of that tarot deck and I put them in with the other one that I have. So it's almost like two decks put together, except I don't use none of the suits in there. And we I did take that promo card out. That was hilarious. No, you weren't there, were you? Were you there? Who was it? I don't know. I took the promo card out that had the hotline number on it. That was hilarious. That was too funny. I almost left it in there just so it could be a part of the deck, but I took it out. See, look at this child. She got on a full-blown coat. I mean, when the wind blows, it is a little airish. It ain't nowhere near cold. Like it's hot for me. See, that's here too. This you got a mixture, and then what's bad is you can't tell the difference. It's like half of them mentally ill, the other half are on drugs, and then some. It's like there's a few that are just down on the luck type thing. But they make it hard. Like won't lie, it's not even a you know feel bad for humanity type thing. It's like, well, I tried to, but the Apple store broke all the windows. That's why here in Portland, they're closing all the Walmarts. Every single one. Every single one. Because when you go into a Walmart, everything is locked up. You need a deodorant, it's locked. You need a shaver, it's locked. You need a lotion, it's locked. You need a foot pad, it's locked. Everything is locked up because that's all people do is steal. Pack off tons of stuff. That's why you got 50,000 security agencies here, and the Nike store closed because people were just taking arms full of stuff and just walking out. And you can't tackle them, so what do? And Nike is actually trying to make some sort of deal with the city to get police officers, and then they will open up the store if they can get that. So it's like, yes. They closed all the Portland Walmarts because they said it's not profitable, but that's nonsense. It's Walmart in a city. Of course it's profitable. They keep stealing things, and then therefore it's not profitable. Retail 101, shrink, is the biggest reason why people get fired or your store closes. Shrink is what you are supposed to have on hand versus what you do have on hand. And the difference is the shrink. So when my inventory says I should have $1,000 worth of stuff, but everybody's been packing it off, and then you do my inventory and I got $2,850, yeah, we got a problem. Like a big problem. My favorite place outside of Las Vegas would actually be here so far. Maybe. I like Pittsburgh too. Pittsburgh is pretty. Oh, the trees are. The city's a city, but I like the trees. But I like it here too, though. It's nice. Las Vegas, I just like the lights. Yeah, that's the thing that burns me up more than anything. Like, I know there are worse crimes in the world that are committed, but stealing is just, I don't know. I think it gets under my skin more than anything. Because if you ask me, I will more than likely give it to you. But if you take it from me, then I'll hate you forever. Like, don't take things from me. I'll need nothing. If you need something, then let's see if we can try to help. But don't take it from me. Because then you gave me no choice but to be victimized, and I don't care for that. Trees do make everything better. I love a tree. I wish these would bloom around here, but I guess that's a late summer type of thing. If this is he just driving up and down the street to bother my nerves, I've seen him 4 times on this loud ass motorcycle. Lord Jesus, Christian. Yeah, see, this. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not a dog person at all, so this is just my opinion, and I'm gonna say it anyway because it's my channel. I can do that. Pit bulls are not pets, and if you walk in one, you should never let it off the leash. The first thing he did was chase the swans up into the sky. I can't. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I can't do it. Anyway, trees. I like the trees, but we don't get enough sun for right now for them to bloom right now. So I do dread the heat. I do, but it would be nice to see the blooms again. I think. I don't know. Now my head on the swivel. Large dogs and large fires are the only two things I'm scared of. I can't do it. I don't know why either. Past life thing, I guess. If you believe in such a thing. Yeah, if you get above 80, actually, if you get above 75, I'm going to start complaining. But if you get above 80 degrees, I'm going to complain. I am. You can get as cold as you want. I got fancy jackets. If you get above 80 degrees, I'm going to complain. I started to go live yesterday, but actually, I need to make me, I have to keep an eye on the battery so the phone doesn't die in the middle of me talking like it always does. But I won't go in, this is why I'm sitting here. I won't go in the store this time with the live stream going because the last 3 times YouTube has flagged my videos because there was music playing in the store. Now, what usually happens, for those who don't know, there's 3 types of monetization marker on your account. A green monetization marker, which is a dollar sign. So the green dollar sign means you are fully monetized, and all of the ads that they will play on your channel, you are eligible for a piece of that ad money and so forth and so forth. A yellow monetization marker means you have limited monetization and or you are sharing monetization with someone else. And that's usually what happens. So when I went to the Korean barbecue and the K-pop music was playing, I got a yellow marker because that music is copywritten. So you can get some ads, but the majority is going to go to the K-pop band because that's their song playing in your video. Copyright. Now, when I went in the store and all of the 3 minutes that that song was playing, Then I have a red monetization marker. That means you get nothing whatsoever, and everything goes to Jason Mraz because your song was playing in the background. And so that's why the whole video got deleted because Jason Mraz can kiss my behind. So I talked for an hour and a half, and Jason Mraz get all my money if you don't get out my face. So that's what happens. You get three different tiers of monetization. And when you go in the store, and what's crazy is this never ever happened in Pittsburgh ever. And so I would go in, it had never happened anywhere ever. When I'd go to the stores and all my shopping experiences that we've done, walking back and forth, I've never had this happen until I got here. And then I go in the store, and the music that's playing in the grocery store, mind you, it ain't like I'm doing a concert of Jason Mraz hits in the parking lot. No, I'm inside the grocery store and it's playing on the thing. And then there it is. I'm like, okay. Well, we'll just delete it then, won't we? How about that? Mm-hmm. And I get it. That's your song. And it ain't even like Jason Mraz is watching the video and flagging my thing. It's just something YouTube does. Even if you play meditation music, they think you're playing music in your video, and then sometimes that flags your whole live stream too. It's one of them things. It's not even a person coming after you, it's a computer. So you're having a computer issue, basically. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I had no choice in whether or not the music was going to play. So, no, I don't. I'm not an editor. So, if it's something wrong in the video, it either gets deleted or posted as is. But no, it was because it was a live stream. And what happens is you get flagged immediately. So it wasn't like I posted it and then they flagged it. No, you get a red $sign the minute they think you got a copyright strike. Which, again, I get it. I really do, because, you know, whatever company that is can come after it anyway, so they're just jumping the gun, is all. So, I mean, no big deal, but, I mean, it ain't like I earned $75 from no video or something. You might get $3, $4 from a live stream, so there's that. They don't pay the artists for the videos that are uploaded. They pay anybody on YouTube if you watch an advertisement. Unless you got a deal with YouTube to where you're making videos for money, everybody gets paid from advertisement. So if you don't watch the ad, then that person didn't get anything. Uh-oh, the duck is limping. It's a bad limp, too. I mean, TikTok, you do whatever you want to on TikTok. And that's another thing, too, which is, again, why I get it. It's very hard for artists nowadays to control their art. It's everywhere. Spotify and that whole thing to where they didn't get anything, or if you played the song 100 times, you get 1 cent. Thank you, Lewis. So or was it 1,000? It's something crazy. It's like a high number, so it's not like 10. It's like you play the song 1,000 times, you get 1 cent, and then if it's 2,000, 2 cents. So that's the thing that they finally got out of Spotify, and then they couldn't get anything out of Tidal, which was another streaming service, and then Apple Music, they had the thing there. So it's like your stuff is everywhere, and then on YouTube, you could download somebody's whole album and not pay anything except $17.99 to YouTube. Meanwhile, how did that person get paid? I listen to your song over and over and over and over again for free. Or I can just buy one song. Remember back in the day when you had to buy a whole album just to get two songs? Now I don't have to buy the whole album. I just buy those two songs. So I get it. The world has changed, especially for artists, music artists, and all artists, but music artists, it's really hard to keep track of all of your stuff. It's everywhere. YouTube Music, Tidal, Apple Music, or iTunes. It's everywhere. Jason Mraz is in the grocery store. And see, that's another thing. Like, how do you get your payment from your clicks and views? You really don't. And then on YouTube, you can upload somebody's whole concert, and then they have to keep track of that because the Janet Jackson concert it just started, and I've already seen 12 videos, at least 12 videos posted. I ain't watching no owl concert, but 12 videos already posted on my feed this morning of people at the concert with their telephone out. And you can go through and flag each one of them, but it's not like a comedy show to where you don't need that recorded because you have to tell the same joke in a different city. But how do you get paid for all that? You don't. I mean, I ain't crying for them, Argentina, but to be fair. That's see, Tammy, that was back in the day. I used to like them days too, though. You listen to the radio all day just so you can hear Karma Chameleon come on, and then got your tape in, and then hit record real fast. I done recorded many a song in the middle of the first verse. If you can catch it, sit there all day long. I did call the radio station once to request a song, and they never played it. And those were the days. Now everything is instantaneous. Whatever you think you might want to listen to, there it is. Don't care how old it is. If somebody recorded it, there it is. Everything. Everything. Oh, really? I used to like KOMA. I used to actually like most of the radio stations in Oklahoma. What was it? Was KOMA the wait? What am I thinking about now? Because it was some I always had to listen to when I was at work, whether you liked the songs or not. I don't think that was KOMA. It was the 60s and 70s music. I can't remember. I think that was them. Am I in the courtyard? No. I found a quiet street. I say that and then there come 50, 11 cars around here, but no, I found a quiet street. Mm-hmm. I used to love those radio stations. Even the ones that were sometimes, I don't know, I was born middle aged. So I'm not a person who ever really kept up with my own generation or my own peers and all that. All the hippity hoppity music, that just, it wasn't for me. Give me some old, I'm here for that. And, oh, really? Bad. And then look at you. Now you are going entirely too fast. That's how you end up on the news. That's one of them cheering. No, you don't, because he had a Porsche. That's what that was. I could tell. I ain't a car person, but I know a Porsche when I see one. You go buy a fast car just so you could do that. Okay. Your ass like tickets too now. You better make a U-turn in the middle of the street. Okay. See, that's what your car should sound like when it's driving by. Drive like you got some sense. Anyway, I got distracted. Mm-mm. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I've never really been a person from my contemporaries, I guess. And I wasn't like raised necessarily on like old school music. That's just what I gravitated to, I guess. Because my parents liked everything. My mother did anyway. My father had stages. He went through his midlife crisis. Then he liked rap all of a sudden. He went from Bill Withers to mystical, so it was one of them things. Lovely day to shake your ass. Like, okay, that's not the same thing. But my mother liked anything, everything that sounded good. We weren't really death metal people though. That's a whole different kind of sound. But everything else, I can get with that. Every now and then, I would still have a little piece of the DJ talking. But I was on my record game back in the day. I know when the song about to turn off. Yeah, hip hop gospel is it's been a thing for a while. When I was growing up, um, it was very, 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 very controversial. That and rock gospel, those two, you were shunned. You were called names. It was heresy. It was blasphemy because it doesn't honor God and all that type of thing. Like Kirk Franklin, when he came out and he was a little too hippity dippity for some from church people. And then they didn't like that either. And then he did a couple raps, which he never should have because he can't rap. But he did a couple raps too, and they were not having it because tradition. But there you go. But it was a topic of conversation when I was growing up. People didn't like if you snapped your fingers, either the traditionalist. They didn't like that. You had to clap your hands. Snapping your fingers was too much like club music, and so it wasn't honoring God like this. I mean, the people. I mean, yeah, I ain't got to tell y'all because y'all know, but they take things way too seriously. You see the video of CC Winans? They was dragging her on the internet because she said when her and Whitney Houston did the "Count on Me" song for "Waiting to Exhale." Apparently, they reached out to her, and Whitney did too, because they wanted her to sing on the "I Am Every Woman" song too, by Shaka Khan. And so Whitney Houston and CeCe Winans were supposed to sing that song, but CeCe Winans says she's not singing that song because it starts with the words "I can cast a spell and secrets you can't tell." And so she's like, "I can cast a spell is witchcraft," and so I'm not singing that. And then she was up there preaching or teaching or whatever she was doing. And she said, because the Bible says, God said, you either are with me or you're against me. And so she's not singing that. And then they found something else for her to sing. She got in trouble swaying too much. See, I can't. Ain't like she was twerking. They just take it way too seriously. I can't. But I mean, I get it. I can cast a spell. That's what she meant. Mix a special brew, put fire inside of you. I get it. It sounds like a witchcrafty song to me too. And I'm pretty sure it might be. At the same time, though, um, you are a woman standing in a pulpit preaching. You ain't supposed to be doing that either. So I think God is okay if you bend some of the rules of human engagement. Because maybe that book was written by people in a time where women were property instead of people. So maybe calm down with some of your judgment, ma'am, is all I'm saying. But, sing it if you want to. Don't sing it if you don't want to. Draw a line somewhere. That's okay with me. I can cast a spell. That's what that means. That's a giant car. Jesus. A Cadillac Escalade. You don't see them no more. I bet you paid $70 million for that gas. Ooh-wee. We'll get you a bicycle. See, I can't do it. I ain't gonna get in trouble for swaying too much. Tap your toes and clap your hands. That's all you could do. If you snapped your fingers, it's I mean, it's like you held up a sign with a curse word on it. They darted their eyes right to you. Don't snap your fingers. It's not holy. I'm like, okay, don't snap your fingers. Snapping your fingers and clapping your hands is the same thing. Person who is being critical. Because your fingers, when they do this, that's not the sound you hear. The sound you hear when you snap your fingers is your finger hitting the palm of your hand. So it's the same thing. You're just doing a different motion to make the same sound. That's all. Calm down. Snapping your fingers and clapping your hands is the exact same thing. What do I know? Now the duck limping and trying to cross the street. Ooh, child. People around here though aren't that reckless. They ain't gonna run it over. That's a giant. You can't see that. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. There it is. That's a giant animal. You ain't gonna just run that over. Mm-hmm. Gotta control. Now, if I go to the beach next week, I might do a mini live stream from there, like a little bitty one. Because if I go, I ain't going by myself. So they do. I don't. Lena Rodriguez sent me a video of some guys, I think, doing a hula dance because they had the hula skirts on and things, and they're bringing that back, or they're bringing that the dance back, or something like that, because it was passe. Because I guess men skirts. I don't know. I forget what she said. I couldn't watch it because it was a Facebook video, and I don't have Facebook to log into. And so, my thing is, though, I find people's cultures and traditions and things fascinating. to probably Cannon Beach. I find them fascinating to learn about and things like that, but I don't. How do I say without sounding disrespectful? I don't take it seriously for myself, of course, because it's a man-made thing and it's a tradition thing. Like your culture, that's something, it's important to you. I ain't trying to take it from you. What I'm saying is, to me, if you feel like you have to do it because other people did it in your bloodline, then I feel like that's a problem. It's part of my culture. Okay, but is it a part of you specifically? Or is it just a part of your culture? Your culture can be just as controlling as your religion or your anything else. If you feel like I can't do this because that's not the way we do it in my culture, or I can't work because women don't work, or I can't walk out of the house without a hijab, and I can't wear pants because it's not part of my, like, if it's something that is oppressing who you actually are because you feel as though it's a part of your culture, then I have a problem with it. And so when people say something about their culture, my eyes roll in my head. They do. Because that's all I think about. Even though people's cultures can be a beautiful thing, of course. But in my mind, all I think about is oppression. That's all I hear when you say culture. Is a part of my culture, you can't do this. Part of my culture, you have to do that. Tradition and culture are oppressive words to me, but they're technically not. But to me, that's all I hear when I hear culture. But it can be very freeing. And then, okay, what do y'all think about this? Let me ask y'all too. There's this guy. He does yoga. He's a yoga instructor, and because I looked him up after I seen a post on, oh hell, where was it? I think it was Instagram or something. Because Instagram has now come to showing you people you don't follow, and so anyway, there's this post, and he had a hashtag Child of Oshun. Now Oshun is an African deity, one of the Orishas. She is the goddess of love and beauty and sex and sexuality and birth and women and all that good stuff. And so he does yoga, but he does tantric yoga and he does like nude yoga and all them type of things. And so he said he's a child of Oshun, hashtag child of Oshun. But he's white. Now, I'm like, okay. I mean, Oshun doesn't belong to black people, but it was just odd to see. I will admit, it was just a little odd to see. That's like somebody in the middle of, Nigeria saying he's a child of Odin. So it was just a little strange is all, but that's where again the word tradition and culture can become chains. If that's what he identifies with, but it's not a part of his culture, I don't care. What it got to do with me? You, do your thing, so forth and so forth. I mean, don't go around perpetrating, but if that's your thing, then let that be your thing. And I think when you have a culture, let's say this belongs to us, and you can't do it like they did with, what's the child name? Pharrell, the guy who did the Because I'm Happy song, the Happy song, I forget what it is. That song, the Happy song. He was on a magazine cover um, with the what do you call it? The headdress on, Native American headdress. And so then he got flack for that cultural appropriation. I mean, okay, if that's what you're drawn to, do it. Go for it. I read runes because I like them. I'm not a child of Odin, though. I like runes. I think it's interesting. Which, again, I find people's cultures interesting, fascinating, even. But I ain't going to, the altar and praying to Zeus, Muhammad, Odin, or anybody. You know. But that's what you like. Go for it. And I think, you know, no, your spirit has no color. It's not supposed to. It's white. It's pure. It's clean. Do what you like. Gravitate to what you gravitate to. If you're a Buddhist, be a Buddhist. And don't let nobody come to your house on Saturday morning asking you, are you waiting for Jehovah's return and you need to convert to what I say. It's a noisy car, Jesus. Everything is everything. Thank you. See, there you go. You don't have to be Indian to be Hindu. You don't have to be black to be Yoruba. Is that what you like? Then go for it. That's what brings you peace. That's what brings you comfort. As long as you don't use whatever you have to hurt somebody else, then should nobody else give a crap. See, and if you follow me around, you'd probably say I'm a witch too. So it's I get it. I'm not pagan. I always say I'm more Christian than atheist, but more pagan than Christian. it's, it's find what you like and then do that. That's it. You ain't gotta call it a name. You ain't gotta just find what you like and then do that. I like God. I don't like the Bible. I think it's weird. It's a book full of magical people used to control other people. So it's strange to me. I mean, it's not strange, but it's strange. No, some of it is strange because some of it's oppressive, like literally oppressive. But you know, it's some of it's stories. The first Pokemon battle was in the Bible, so it's one of them things to where it's interesting. That's where they got Pokemon from, I think. The first Pokemon battle was in the Bible, and I think that was interesting, fascinating. Just don't be oppressed by it. Is all I'm saying. Mhm. Me too. I don't mind church. I don't like oppression. And if you tell me I have to do it this way or I'm going to hell, then that's oppressive. And so I like fellowship. I like the singing and the preaching and all that stuff. But when you try to control me, then that's oppressive. God's not oppressive. God is supposed to be free. So maybe we got different gods, I guess. No, we have the same God, just different interpretations. Nothing. Religion has zero to do with God. It has everything to do with structural integrity. We have to be this way because this is the way it's supposed to be. Not we have to be this way because that's what God said, because that's the way it's supposed to be. God didn't write the Bible, which is why I always tell people you can write your own Bible if you want to. Because all it is a bunch of people who said they were inspired by God to write something down about their life. You can do that. You're not inspired? Inspired? No, you don't have the Pharaoh and his army chasing you into the Red Sea. Okay, fine. But at the same time, Moses also doesn't have a child in ICU dealing with something that they can't control. So maybe times change and problems change. And so if you can find inspiration within your life, within your problems, within your whatever your experiences are, write it down, aka New Bible. This is what I experienced. This is what I believe God did for me. The end. Write your own Bible. It can be done. It was done before. Why can't it be done now? And then maybe you can take some of the garbage out of there. You can leave the Pokemon battle in there, though. That was fun. That was cute, but take all the rest of this. Mm-hmm. That's what you got to do. Can't have chickens loose all over the yard. Mm, can't have it. Speaking of God, God don't like ugly. Y'all see that story? That child, he resigned in Tennessee. One of the people that voted to oust, actually the three, but the woman was safe. But the two Justins, the two black dudes in Tennessee that got expelled, and then one of the guys who voted to expel him just resigned because he was sexually harassing people around the office. I tell you, God don't like ugly. He coming for that other dude. It's Carl Sexton, Mike Sexton, whatever his name is. He coming for you too. You got you something coming too. Stand up and talking about it's not racism. Yes, it is. They participated in a Stop Shooting Us rally, basically. Let's control some guns around here. And all of a sudden, oh no, y'all can't work here no more because how dare you stand up for principles? Okay. And then they got their job back because what God has for you is for you. I shall restore thee, he said, and scatter your enemies. So he coming for you too. Because it's all going to come out anyway, just like them fools in Oklahoma who talking about they wish they could hang black people again. You know, he said, what he say, did he say he wished that lynching was not legal, socially acceptable? Is that what he said? And then the mayor and the governor's a Republican, and the governor asked him to resign. They still haven't as of yet, I don't think. I ain't kept up with the story though. But because there were the sheriff and two other fools he was talking to. And I'm like, okay, it's all coming out, huh? It ain't like that's rare. I mean, it's Oklahoma. I mean, not just Oklahoma, it's everywhere. But, you know, you get into the positions and you think, you know, your ish don't stink, and then you can say and do whatever you want to. Like, I don't understand it. A part of me, again, does not believe that racism is purely taught. I don't know. It's survived way too long for it to be something that's just taught. Because in my mind, this goes back to what me and Jules constantly go back and forth about. Not back and forth, but the whole free will. I don't believe in free will. And so there is, I was thinking about it actually yesterday. Because if I go with the concept of I don't believe in free will, then what is our fault? Anything? And so if something has got to be somebody's fault, then you must have free will. Because what happens when you rob a bank, when you rape a person, when you steal somebody's money, when you victimize anyone, anywhere, doing anything? Is that your fault, or is this just written in your chart somewhere that you're going to be a horrible person? Like, is anything Donald Trump's fault, or is it just in his stars? So that's why I'm like, okay, if he doesn't have free will, then nothing's his fault. If he has free will, then everything's his fault because he chose to do that. But at the same time, he is where his chart said he would be. So what is his fault? This is the conversations I have with myself. And so I'm like, these traits, because human beings are pre-wired. You come with personality traits. Just how you can raise 5 kids in the same house and they all turn out different. They were pre-wired before you even got them. And so something might just live within a person that is irrational, aka hateful, whatever it is. You got different kinds of hate, different kinds of irrationality. This person doesn't like dark-skinned people. Okay, this person doesn't like children, and this person doesn't like fat people, and then this person doesn't like old people, and then this person doesn't like people who eat meat, and so there might be things that are just ingrained in some people that will always exist. Always has, always will going forward. Because human beings are complex. And we haven't even figured our own selves out yet. The why. And that's because each person, even if they're born under the same stars, still have different experiences. And then they're different people. And so, again, these are the conversations I have with my own self. I don't know. But I am comfortable, and this is one thing I say about the metaphysical community and the religious community. They share this. They are uncomfortable with the phrase, I don't know. I am very comfortable with that phrase because if I don't know, then I don't know it. I'm not going to then make it up or try to just find some placeholder answer because I'm uncomfortable with not knowing. If you don't know, you don't know. Say you don't know and then leave it at that. Somebody will figure it out and then you'll know it. Like, where do we go when we die? Both metaphysical people and religious people have no idea, but they swear they do because they've experienced something or they've had NDEs or something like that. Okay. I'm not going to take that from you. If that's what you believe, that's what you believe. I'm just saying I don't know. Is what I'm saying. You can tell me all the things in the world, but what I'm telling you is I don't know personally, and then I leave it at that. I did have a dream about the afterlife once. It was very vivid, and I remember it to this day. You walk into something that looks like a train station. That's what it showed me, anyway. And so you walk in. It's not, okay, how do I explain this now? Picture like this big giant dome, like an arena type thing, like a big dome. And it's light up here, like you can see through the skylight type of thing. You'll see through the ceiling. And then there are people everywhere, walking here, walking there, people sitting on benches and so forth and so forth. But you can tell it's like a train station, even though I see no trains. But you can tell because it's got that vibe, it's got that look. And people are going places, and you have a place to go, aka maybe an assignment. And so you walk in, and that's what you see is this big dome-looking thing. And then people walking everywhere to and fro, and then they're sitting on benches, and that's where it stopped. The dream itself. And so it gave me the message that you go to a place and you have an assignment, you have a place to go. It's not the same as everybody else. And so Metaphysics, what they will teach you is some people are guides, some people are watchers, some people are reincarnated instantly, reincarnated later. They got different things. And oh, now the sun, where'd you come from? Jesus. Talking about heaven, and now the sun came out, which I would consider hell at this point. Anyway, and so that's what I would envision is you leave here and then you find something else to do. What? I don't know. But again, I'm comfortable with saying I don't know because I don't know it. I've never been there in this conscious mind. So, which starts a whole nother conversation. Lord have mercy. Soul contract. I don't believe in that either. I know that's a big thing. Again, this is why I say the metaphysical community is not comfortable with saying I don't know. Soul contract. That's supposed to be the thing that you agree to this life before you get here. And I say, that doesn't make sense to me. Because let's say you get here and everything is just as fabulous as it could be. Okay, then that's who wouldn't agree to that kind of thing, or who wouldn't agree to that kind of life. And so, who wouldn't agree to that kind of life? And then there is the people who come down here and have the worst life on earth. Why would you agree to such a thing before you come here? Or people who come here and they turn all of 14 years old and get killed in a school shooting. Like, why would you agree to such a thing? So you can learn lessons, is what the metaphysical community would say. You learn lessons and you take them to your next life. And instead of just saying, I don't know, then somebody found an answer. You take these lessons to your next life. I don't need the lesson of horror and trauma in order to grow as a person. Not that kind. I think that's balderdash. And so, I don't know. But at the same time, I'm comfortable with saying I don't know. And then here's what's interesting. I normally don't, but I tell you there's a train station, and now all of a sudden, there's like 1,000 people around. Now there's the little child. This is who I was waving at. The little child was staring at me. There's people everywhere now. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people walking around me now. Maybe it's a sign. But there's something outside of here. That part I do know, because otherwise psychics wouldn't exist. You're talking to somebody somewhere. Mediums wouldn't exist. You're talking to somebody somewhere, or something, some spirit, some energy somewhere. That stuff exists somewhere. Where? I don't know. But that's proof to me that there is something beyond what we see. I can accept that part because it works. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've done it. So it's one of them things to where I heard a voice out loud in my house, but I saw no person. So there's somewhere, there's like a, I don't know, like a film, a something that like covers where they are that we can't see, but yet they exist in the same plane we do. I don't know though. I don't know how it works. I don't know what it's made of, if it's made of Kraft macaroni and cheese or what, I don't know. But I can tell you from firsthand experience, when I sat in a room, audible, mind you, because it echoed, audible, mind you, I heard the voice. And so That means there's something there. You know, a spiritual DJ. It's something there, right? There's something there. I don't know exactly what. I don't know if it's a person still. It's if it's an energy, if it's a what. I don't really care per se. I find it fascinating though. Like the fact that tarot cards work is fascinating to me. These conceptualized pieces of paper that somebody's imagination drawings. And mind you, it's not just tarot cards. You can make your own divination system. People use playing cards, Lenormand cards. These things started out as games. Like that's where the Fool card comes from. It was the Joker at one point. So it's you can turn anything into a spiritual connection tool. Tea leaves, eggs, clouds, garbage, bones. Like it's an interesting thing. That all that works, that there's something somewhere, you know, that just it just works. Also leads me though to ask the question. Let's say there's a God, right? Let's say we'll go with the concept of there is a God. Does that God also have a God? Like is because if you think about the beginning of time, something had to push play. Something had to say, okay, start, okay, go. Even if life didn't start with humans, okay, fine, whatever. Something pushed play on all of this. How did that thing get here? That's where my mind goes. So Callie's kid, what I think happens, this is what I think happens, because I don't need tarot cards for psychic impressions or hits or advice or words or blah blah blah. But it helps me focus because my mind is it's a playground full of words. So it helps to focus. It's just like rituals. You don't need a ritual to manifest anything. You can just call it into being, but rituals help you focus your intention. And so it's the same thing with prayer. It's the same thing. God already heard your heart. So you don't need to pray, but praying helps to focus the intention. So tarot cards help me focus the intention. The crystals are the same thing. It's like I move them around. I see shapes, but I hear words. And so, and I don't need necessarily crystals. I just need little small objects and push them around in a circle until it tells me to stop. And then there's that. See, and just like that, Jules went, oh, girl, pick a lane that is the wrong side of the streets. This is why I don't drive. She about to kill 9 people. Lord have mercy. Driving like a demon. And you can't turn on, oh, see, I can't. This, excuse me. She shocked me. Okay, anyway. What was I talking about, Jesus? Okay, the crystal. See, okay. The crystals, when I did that one for you, and I said, I asked you a question, and I asked the question, where you are in the world, the state you're in, do you have a lizard problem or a gecko problem, like some little small lizard? And no, where you are, you do not. But where we were talking about, it does. There was not a lizard in the crystals. I'd seen that in my head, or I heard that, or whatever you want to call it. And so that's why I said it. Now, what the crystals do, which the tarot doesn't, well, at least for me, because I'm not that smart yet. I ain't got there yet. The tarot is it can be narrowing sometimes to where I don't look outside the box. The crystals make me search for answers because it's vague. It's just a shape. And so then I'm more open to other things. I don't think I ever would have seen in a tarot card anything about small lizards. And so that's why it can be a bit of a hindrance sometimes. But however I got onto that, oh yeah, Callie's kid. That's I was chasing the squirrel. But I see images and I hear words. So that's that. Hi, Becca. Am I afraid to know? Am I afraid to know about the afterlife? I'm not. No. I want to know everything. But that's probably the Gemini in me too, though. I like knowledge. I just don't have it all. So I'm comfortable with the I don't know, but tell me anything. Teach me the right things, though. Don't just tell me anything. I need facts, not hypothesis. That does nothing but make me question more. I want the question to end at some point. I do wonder, though, if science will ever catch up. Not necessarily catch up. If science and the metaphysical world will ever meet to where you can prove there's something beyond what you can see. Because I don't really believe in ghostometers. You see the ghost hunting shows and they got them things out and it shows you where the ghosts are. I don't believe in those things. But I do wonder if somebody ever will create something that finds the afterlife, that finds spiritual energy, but not just once. Because in order for something to be a scientific fact, it has to be replicated in different places by different people. And so I wonder if if those two arenas will ever meet. And we will have scientific proof of the afterlife. Because psychics is hard to call that science because it has a fault. And the fault is the psychic advice comes through a human and then it clashes with another person's free will. And so you tell me I'm going left, I can go right. Okay, aka psychic is wrong now. So it has to be something that's infallible. So I ever wonder if those two will ever meet. Or will we forever be ridiculed by the logic-minded crowd as being gypsies and fortune tellers? Because you can scam a person with science. Not facts, but you can call it science, I guess. It's not really science. Yeah, you would have to dissect whatever is found. And it's just an interesting concept, I think, that if somebody can find, when I'm sitting in my room and I heard my name out loud, find where that it was, you know. I'm not going in a cemetery for zero reasons. Not with a conscious mind, I'm not. I went through one time when we were on a tour down in New Orleans and we went through the cemetery like there's something to see. I don't find that to be a tourist attraction. A bunch of tombs? No, thank you. Well, yes, we have to build them above ground because when it floods, they go into the street. And then I don't find that fascinating. And not because it's some sort of, I'm scared of ghosts. I think it's gross. There's a bunch of dead bodies in here. I don't find that fascinating. I find it gross. It's gross. Some people like them. Some people find them fascinating. Some people think they're even beautiful to look at. You know, yeah. Not I, said the cat. I don't see nothing interesting about death and dying and zombies and all that. No, thank you. At my mother's funeral, they was like, "Are you gonna go? You got to go to the plot?" No, you don't either. No, I don't believe in free will, personally, for my personal self. I just don't. I was because this is how it started yesterday too. When I was doing all this talking to myself, my mother's health complications were in my chart. Let that ruminate. My mother's health complications were in my chart because there's a section about your family in there. Which means because her health complications came from her diet, which I shared the same diet, so I'll probably have the same health complications. But they came up in my chart, which means her suffering was pre-written somewhere. Which again, this is why I was like, well, what in the world is our fault? Anything? If there's no free will, then nothing's our fault. If there's free will, everything's our fault. So it's one or the other, but I don't believe in free will, so that's just me. I don't find nothing fascinating about cemeteries. Where are y'all coming from? Here's my thing, too. Where are y'all coming from? If you're going to... Anyway, let me hush. Like, you have to come out of your way to come back here. What are you back here for? Just to get back on the main street anyway. Anyway. There's a science to everything. It just needs to be discovered. I don't know, Jules. We're reliving scripts, I guess. I don't know. We're playing a role for the benevolent troll, I guess. Just to see how things go. Oh, Lord. They about to have a meeting. Yeah, we are the Sims. Push this button, make them eat. Push this button, make them walk. Okay, I can get with that too, Pat. Maybe the fault is on one level and not another. I don't know, but I'm comfortable with I don't know. That sounds good to me too. I don't know. Yeah, could be too, Tasha. Because we are weaved into each other's lives. And so, I don't know. It didn't, well, I don't get traditionally scared of other things other than fire and large dogs. It was startling though, because I've never, ever, ever in my life heard my name out loud like that before. It wasn't a nickname, it was my real name. And so I'm like, now watch this son of a mother get my video flagged because he got a thing. You do know, I was going to the store, but my video will be flagged because, anyway. I don't know if we choose what we eat because sometimes we do choose, yes, that is technically true. But our diets can be, how do I say, not controlled, but you eat what your parents eat, and then they ate what their parents ate. You have to make the conscious decision, the free will decision, to do the opposite. Or maybe that is just within your personality to do the opposite. I am not a person who is traditionally disciplined. And so if you give me something addictive to eat, then that's what I eat. My brother, on the other hand, is a disciplined person. So he's going to eat what's healthy. My niece, for instance, she's traditionally disciplined. She eats what's healthy. Then my sister, same diet as I do. We're not disciplined people. She doesn't eat what's healthy until somebody makes her. So I get what you're saying too, because we do have that choice. But if you are not the type of person that can break a cycle or a habit, then you will fall victim to that cycle and that habit. And that is more than likely in your chart too. Gosh darn it. This is why I think we are Sims. This is life as a simulation. Especially if you believe in reincarnation, then you just come back and do all this shite over again. So, no. Like we ate junk because that's what, not junk technically, unhealthy food growing up because that's what we had. And you can make the conscious decision, because when you know better, you do better. You can make the conscious decision to there is a woman by the name of Lauren Margulies. That's who I had my chart done by. And Hogarth Astrology and something on YouTube. He did it too. And Dr. Victoria Scarabo from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Massachusetts. She did my chart too. So I had my chart done by those three people. Lauren Margulies, Hogarth, and Dr. Victoria Scarabo. And all three are on YouTube somewhere. And they're all different prices. And I think Hogarth takes a while to actually get into because he's booked up, and I believe. But he does a different kind of astrology. His is Vedic astrology, and the other two are Western astrology. So it just depends on what you want, I guess. You miss a day, you miss a lot around here. We talk about everything. I'm a philosopher. I have to talk about the meaning of life. Which means nothing to me, technically. To me. Just to me. It could mean everything to you. It means nothing to me. Because I'm not a person who lives in tomorrow. AKA, even though I'm a psychic. I don't live in tomorrow. I just live in right now. Because right now is all that matters. It's all I can control. So, deal with that. Tomorrow is somebody else's problem. And it'll be mine if I get there. That is Victoria. There you go. Thank you, Jules. Lauren Margulies is I don't ever remember her email address. It's like BSY Yoga something. I forget. But that's who did mine, and she made the astrology chart make sense to me. And so, oh, thank you, lucky girl. There it is. And so that was the one where the chart made sense, because astrology goes over my head. I barely understand it even when it comes to tarot, let alone astrology by itself. So, get away from the damn bugs. This is what I don't like about spring is bugs. Okay, did I turn the thing off? Is it back on? Okay. Hi, Edie. Yes, they were, Lillian. Because I got my chart done on my own by Dr. Victoria Scarabo of the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Massachusetts. So I was, because people kept saying, oh, you should get your chart done, see what blah, blah, blah. So I got it done with her. Lauren Margulies offered to do it for me. So that's how that one came about. And then Edie, who is in the chat right there, suggested to get your chart done by Hogarth since his is different than Western. Did I learn more about myself? I did not. No. But this is not to say your chart's not revealing. I was gifted. I am usually a humble person, but I will admit this one, or I will hold this one up as a badge of honor. I was gifted with self-awareness, and so I know a lot about myself. And there are some things I'm sure I don't know, or some things that I will know if I were to uncover them. But I've never done shadow work because I don't have a bunch of unhealed things that I'm unaware of. Like, I know things that I wrestle with, and I know why I do. So I'm self-aware. That doesn't mean I'm corrected and I'm perfect. It just means I know what it is all. And so when it comes to my life and my chart, I know what that stuff is already. And so the only real thing that, because Lauren revealed this to me, the one thing I did learn was how prominent the divine connection is in my chart. Like, not, the whole tarot and all that stuff. No, it's like you are almost destined to be someone in the church or someone in the clergy or someone in the cloth or something like that. Because there's this, I always said I live a life of servitude, and I do. I actually like serving other people. I like being of service to people. I like ministering to people. That makes me happy. Like, I don't need nothing in this world. My life has always been simple, and it's always been, it's kind of, it's even kill. It's flatline, if you will. Like, I don't have a bunch of uppy downy going on in my life. And that part I always knew, but I didn't realize how many of my houses or how much of my chart is like inundated or overwhelmed or just filled with, not inundated, that's the wrong word. It's just filled with a bunch of crown chakra stuff, like divine connection stuff. And so, yeah, I was, when I was a kid, I was described as deep, and I didn't know what that meant. I'm like, what does that mean? And I asked my parents, and they said, well, it means like serious and philosophical. And I'm like, okay, well, that's me. I'm deep, apparently. I've always been. So they say. There's always time to study to become anything. The only hindrance we have in this world is ourselves. Anything else can be overcome. You just have to strategize in order to do it. But anything can be overcome. Nothing is over until it's over. Yes, it's real life. This is real life to us. Because this is what we know. This is what life is. If we had something to compare it to, like if yesterday we were living in a different kind of life and reality, then we could say, well, that one's real life and then this one's the simulation. This is what we know. This is our, well, then again, when you go to sleep and then your mind starts dancing with all these other wonders of horrors, then what life is that? But this is our life. This is our real life. This is all we got for right now. As beautiful or as messed up as that is, I guess. To me, but again, this is why my life has been very, it's a simple life. I'm an extra kind of person because I like extra things, but it's a simple life. And I walked out of the house with no rings on my finger. Who does that? Not me. I should be ashamed. Scarlet letter A. But it's a simple life. That's why I guess I can be who I am. I've never been a person without a divine connection. I've never been a person. I tried to question it one time, and it did not work. It was like maybe 20, 30 seconds. That was after my mother died, and I wanted to be angry because, that was my BFF. And then I'm thinking, this God did this. It was his fault, and how dare you? And, not all that. I was trying to be that. It didn't work. Oh, it's 25 years, something. It's a long time. And so I'm there and I'm all trying to huff and puff, and it didn't work. Like, I couldn't question the existence because it's like better. And it's like air doesn't exist because I'm holding my breath, so that means air doesn't exist. Okay, when you calm down from your tantrum, we'll still be here. And so it lasted all of 5 minutes, and I moved on. Now, mind you, like I said, that was my BFF, right? And I may have grieved a week and a half, and I was all right. Moved on. Because that's maybe part of that divine connection, and just the things that you have to be of service to other people, because then I had to go and help everybody else that literally fell apart and all that type of stuff. And so I was fine because I knew that she was fine. And so, you know, why are you still crying for? It's like, you can miss them and all that type of stuff, but they all right. You the one stuck here, so. Oh yeah, my mother stands behind me a lot. Like, yeah, she's still, yeah. I hear from her a lot, yes. Yeah. I think my father was trying to come too, because he passed away like a month ago. Like, was it a month ago? It was a month ago or 2 months ago, something like that. I think he was trying to come through too. There's still a block on him, so I don't know if he can. He'll make it through one of these days. No, she's not who called my name, because she's never called me Johnny ever in my life. Ever. Maybe when I was born and she said that's what my name is, but I've never ever heard her call me Johnny. And she never would either. Like, even now, it still wouldn't come out that way. And she doesn't need to get my attention because she's always there. And so, yeah. I don't know who that was, but they'd never done it again though either, because I was like, okay, enough of that business. I don't need you in my head is one thing. Outside and out loud in my room is a whole nother. You crossing some lines here. Don't touch me, which that's happened before too. And don't call my name out like you know me like that. If you calling me Johnny, then you probably not part of. Everybody in my family knows what my nickname is, and that's not what they would call me. Now, when I was a kid, I got Little Johnny a lot because I was Johnny Jr., and so they called me Little Johnny. And so, and then when I got to be 6 feet tall and he was still 5 foot 5. that that name went away, but there's that. I don't know if it was a woman's voice. It was just a voice. It wasn't distinct enough to where I can say, "Ooh, that sounds like such and such." It was just a voice, which is odd too. I'm glad you asked that question because I never thought about that. It was like a neutral voice, which I've never experienced before. That's interesting too. I might have to do a reading one day and see if. No, I didn't recognize the voice at all because it wasn't distinct. It didn't sound like a relative. I mean, but here's another thing too about that part. I was watching somebody. What was the child name? I was watching Dr. Crawford, and he brought up a good point about when we think about our history and our ancestors. We think, oh, my ancestors go back till 1991. No, they don't. We tend to put a time limit on history. And you exist because somebody existed hundreds of years ago and somebody just kept having babies and then here you are. And so your ancestry line goes back further than ancestry DNA and 1, 2, 3 and me and all these type of things. And so it could be a person that is in my family tree. I just never met them before. I met two, three. I did three before. Did three. I've met three before because they showed up in my dreams when I had a issue. Well, I actually met 8 of them. 5 came all at one time, which was really interesting too. It's always when I got an issue with somebody and then they show up. When somebody's is coming after me for whatever reason or attacking my besmirching my name or whatever it is they're trying to do. Mr. B, you better. This is bugs. I can't with the bugs. Okay, I'm sorry. Focus. when someone's like being a horrible person, then I see them. And then they give me some sort of reassurance that it's all right. Don't worry about them, which I never do. Because what you gonna do to me? You can't do nothing to me. I can't do to you. So there's that. See, I've been woke up. Actually, that used to happen. It still does a lot. And somebody will blow in my ear, and that's how it wakes me up. Because that's very distinct, and I can't sleep through that. Because it's just, you blew in my ear, and it will wake me up. And I know what to do every time it does that. The first thing I'm supposed to do is go check the telephone because somebody needs something, and that's why we woke you up. And so that happens still. Somebody, somewhere, I don't know who, needs something, and then it wakes me up. I don't mind though. It's never been. That doesn't startle me. The name out loud thing. That one was different because that's never happened before. Hasn't happened since either. That was in Florida. But that in Florida too was where they were jumping up and down on my back too. So Florida was special. That's when I started buying all those decks though too. Was in Florida.
Come on, man.
I invited the devil in the house. See, I don't mind because it is that's not startling to me. And so I don't know why it's not. Maybe because that's something we worked out, and I was unaware of it, but it's not startling. So that part I can deal with. And it only happens when somebody needs something and then I'm unaware of it. And so the first thing I do is check the telephone, and then there it is. Hey, can you? Hey, will you? Hey, are you? Fill in the blank. Okay, how's the battery? Okay, we're at 40%. I have to keep track of the battery so it doesn't die. My pillow. Okay. Sitting on cement for an hour and a half is not something I recommend. So. Yeah, I lived in a. I don't know. I think it was just me, but that house may have had some sort of something going on in and around it. Hi, Jeffrey. Right back at you, friend. What's today? Saturday? Yes, it is. It's quiet. It's easy breezy. All right, I'm gonna put this. You're not too late. You're here when you were supposed to be. It's probably why I go to so many. Like when I move, the first thing I do is clean the house, energetically speaking. I go around, play the singing bowl, sometimes the sage, sometimes not. Palo Santo, something. It's the first thing I do. See, that's what I'm talking about. Big heaps of trash. That's how it starts. The next thing you know, your whole neighborhood look like the inner city. Yes, Jody is posting. She posted an update on her channel, I believe, and she's posting updates on her GoFundMe page. And I reposted something on my community page too. But she's doing her physical therapy now, I believe. We're in that stage now. So she's still in the hospital. So that's what's going on right now. But she has a more detailed post. But she's very upbeat though. And so, because what I believe happened is she was at home and then legs just gave out. They just stopped working. And then went to the hospital, had cracked disc, not just vertebrae, but there was disc cracked. And so had surgery. Surgery went well. Now physical therapy, and that whole journey. But like I said, she's upbeat at least. That's a lot of changes to go through all at once, suddenly. See, now it's hot. Yes, everything. It's like human body. That's the main thing. Like it's just that goes. Nothing else matters. People say pain in the neck, pain in the back. It's your foundation almost. So I think she has metal now. You got to put rods and screws and all these type of things in. Had to cross the street. People drive like demons. The movie theater's busy. What's up here? What's playing? What's going on with Jamie Foxx? Anybody know? Oh, good, Kelsey. Get our walk on. It's a nice day here, too. Nice to me. Some people like sun in their day. Not really one of them people, but it's kind of bright. I mean, it's up there somewhere. Oh, he woke up? Okay, well, good. Well, thank you, Pat. I'm going to get my hair did then. No, they just said health complication, but they didn't say what it was. So I'm like, what in the world? I need to remember to do the reading when I get home about whose voice that was I heard. It just came back to my mind, so hopefully I'll remember. Okay. Now we go towards the traffic. Will I share the reading? I mean, I'm not going to do it necessarily on camera, but remind me next time we're out here. I'll tell you what I got. See, but again, what does it even mean? Let's say I pulled a Queen of Pentacles. The name Rhonda's not at the bottom of it, so we're still not going to know exactly who, but we can get close. Ask some probing questions. Like, are you a family member? Or maybe we can get a Ten of Pentacles type thing as an ancestor. Somebody in your family tree. Somebody just walking on by. That could be too. When I was in Pittsburgh, somebody was walking up the steps. It was the same thing. Somebody wandering around. Because my steps in Pittsburgh, they creaked when you went up them. And so my brother was not home because he had just left and gone to work. And then I hear somebody walking up the steps. So, I ran out the room like ninja time. I got knives and sticks and everything else, and I can hear him walking, but ain't nobody there. I'm like, okay. So that's what we doing? Just walking around the house. And that was somebody, because I did a reading, Jen did a reading on it too, I believe. And it's somebody not necessarily like bound to my house, but that area itself. And maybe they're drawn to that energy too. Use the crystals. Okay, I'll use those too. So it could have been somebody. Is that your feeling, Pat? Somebody just passing by? Because like I said, I don't know the voice, but then again, it's not like I've heard every voice of every person that's ever been in my family. So who knows? It could still be somebody in my family tree. Just you don't know who they are. But we'll see what the cards say. We will see. That's what they do. Hey, y'all, hey. See, who'll do this? Explain. Why? 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 That's what I want to know. I can't stand it. Slow down, boy. Hell. Everybody want to go fast. I mean, I know you can't go 2 miles an hour with a motorcycle. You'll fall. But they all act like they want to go as fast as they possibly can. Very busy streets. And they do it at all the stoplights. Like, look at this. Like, why is there piles of trash at every stoplight? Human beings don't deserve Earth sometimes. I don't understand. Birds build nests out of twigs and leaves. They recycle. Human beings stick trash all on the ground like some mysterious magical person gonna come scoop it all up and it's gonna be fine. I don't understand. I don't have the mentality to just throw something on the ground and leave it. I can't. Well, we about to end anyway, lucky girl. We got like 2 more minutes because I'm outside the store and we can't go in. Because Jason Mraz is going to get me if I go in the store. So I can't. I don't want the Jason Mraz crew come flagging my video. I'll be Aretha Franklin next. Put some respect on her name. She's gonna take all your ad money. That's right. I was that child driving down the street with his radio on. Watch. YouTube play too much. I bet you they don't do this to that little racist boy who on there. YouTube play too much. If I was some white dude with 100 million subscribers calling people the N-word, y'all give me half the platform, wouldn't you? That's what they do. Because I seen it. I didn't even have 100 million subscribers. Do you think that's a real number? Or is that like something they give you to make you look like a lot of people are watching your thing? Because there's a lot of people. Now it's worldwide, mind you. So it's not like it's just in the US, but that's still a lot of people. Like a whole lot. To be subscribed to one YouTube channel. They will. They will. They will do that. Sometimes you start a live stream, and it's just like Becca's live stream. When she started, she didn't even say anything yet. She already had the yellow. Remember I told you about the green, yellow, and red? How you gonna start me with the yellow? Ain't nothing happened yet. I bet you y'all don't do that to that boy. The little racist boy who at the top of the YouTube. I bet you don't do that to him. Mm-mm. 100 million subscribers. I don't understand. And you're not even doing anything interesting. So that's what. No. I mean, you know something I don't know. Yeah, she thought about the wrong song. Okay. So what's today? Saturday? Well, I will see y'all tomorrow then. We're on Jen's channel. So yes, I will see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out with me and participating in our discussion. Jason Mraz in here, people watching, so I ain't gonna take y'all in the store no more. So I will see y'all later.